Action research presented by Kaylee Deonda. Research questions. How effective is utilizing morning circles in helping students to handle conflicts with other students? How does implementing morning meetings with fidelity impact peer-to-peer conflict numbers? The action plan. First, we are going to continue to implement morning circles using a social and emotional curriculum to drive conversation. 2, morning circles will be used to discuss appropriate and inappropriate behaviors that students have witnessed. 3, brainstorm with students ways to solve the problems that students have witnessed. And 4, morning circles will continue for the rest of the school year to continue to build classroom community. As I've collected data, I realized that the number of conflicts that occurred was less important than the way that students are able to handle the conflict. As a life skill, students need to be able to handle their conflicts as adults, and they're able to learn that here in grade school now. So our conflict resolution plan will be to 1, the teacher will help students with conflict resolution discussions when conflict arises using restorative practice questions that Kalamazoo Public Schools is currently implementing. 2, restorative questions that should be used according to Kalamazoo Public Schools are: what happened? What were you thinking at the time? What have you thought about since? Who has been affected by what you have done? In what way? What do you think you need to do to make things right? 3, students will lead discussions to solve their problems with a teacher to assist when needed. And 4, this will need to occur after a month of morning circles being utilized in order to have a solid foundation of community among students. Data collection. This data was looking at the number of conflicts that occurred weekly from week 1 and week 2. Week 1 had no morning circle time implemented, and there were 5 conflicts that occurred that needed teacher support. The second week, morning meetings had just started being implemented, and there was 1 less conflict that arose. Looking forward, this data collection needs to continue in order to establish that there is a relationship between morning meetings or circle time and peer-to-peer conflicts to really address whether this was just a fluke or if there really is a relationship between morning meeting and peer-to-peer conflicts. Qualitative data was collected as well that focused on the topic that drove the morning circle. It started with a question, and then such as, if you could be any animal, what would you choose and why? Or which season is your favorite and why? Students could choose to participate or they could opt out. They were still part of the circle, but they just did not speak. They would say pass or skip. The number down here is the amount of students that gave an answer to the morning meeting question. As you can see, the number of students that participated kind of fluctuated. This could be because maybe they really didn't care about the question that was being asked. Maybe the question on Tuesday, which has the highest number of participants, was something they were really engaged and wanted to answer about. This is just a few interpretations as to why that data number might be different. The third data collection was the percentage of students that seemed to be on task during morning meeting. So students were recorded during the morning meeting circle time, and we collected the amount of number of students that seemed to be paying attention to the speaker, eyes are on the speaker, they weren't doing anything other than focusing on the person talking at the time. This also fluctuated as well. Stakeholders. Teachers will need to implement the morning circle routine with fidelity every day using the provided SEL curriculum. Secondly, administrators need to continue to provide a social and emotional curriculum and provide training to new staff. And lastly, students need to engage in discussion in order for morning meetings to have effect. Students need to be having those conversations during the morning meeting time. Timetable. Morning circles will be implemented daily over the course of one school year. Data will be collected every day for the school year. Stakeholders will use the summer, so the teachers and administrators will use summer months to review data and make adjustments where needed. Outcomes and benefits. Students are able to work through their conflicts more independently by using Morning Circle to build a foundation of support for one another. The goal is that students can lead their conflict resolution conversations without the support of a teacher. Based on the current research, Morning Circles really help students to open up about their thoughts and concerns that were happening in the school. And when conflict arises, the teachers will be there to help guide the students through the process, but will be more of a background person rather than the person driving the conversation. This will help students become more aware of their actions and how their actions impact others. These are some other social and emotional Morning Circle and conflicts research that was done by other people, and then their research kind of helped me to create my action plan for this project. Thank you for listening.